Hello, I'm Helen Sadler, your Destiny Helper. How are you? I am so glad to come before you once again with a subject that many of you have wrote me about, asking questions concerning the new supply. Why are they so obsessed with you? Let's talk about it. But first of all, those of you who have liked and shared my page, thank you so very much. Please, if you are enjoying the video and have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like and continue to share the page. And you can also write me at destinyhepper12s at gmail.com. Destinyhepper12s at gmail.com. And if you're interested in sessions with me, you can write me at the email stated before, destinyhepper12s at gmail.com. It would be an honor and a privilege for us to do the sessions together and watch how God bless you, grow you, and bring you out into the wonderful freedom that you so much deserve. Let's talk about the new supply. Why is the new supply so obsessed with you? First of all, if you escape the narcissist was forced to find supply. And a lot of time, if you escape, they did not have a chance to connect it with that new supply or just to hook that new supply to gain the momentum necessary to lock them in to a relationship where they can get constant fuel as they abuse that new supply. Or if you were discarded by the narcissist because they finally hooked on that new supply. The narcissist is not done with you. If you hadn't had any kind of meaningful relationship with the narcissist, whether it was 3 months, 6 months, or a year, the narcissist would use that. He would use that to hook the new supply and to hurt you. The narcissist is obsessed with you. He's obsessed with you, or she's obsessed with you. Even if they discarded you, they're obsessed with the fact that you are free from them. And even with the discard, they are planning how to hoover you. But sometimes they get so occupied with the new supply until they give their attention to that new supply. And to hook a new supply usually takes 3 to 6 months. So during this time, they don't want anybody to interfere, interrupt, distract them at all. They're very focused, very intentional on that new supply. And when the narcissists meet the new supply, that new supply is perfect. It doesn't matter what they look like or whatever, unless they somatic. They are interested in the supply. There are supply that the narcissists want in public. That's what you call the trophy supply. The trophy supply look good, very prominent with the narcissist supply, and it makes the narcissist look very intelligent, very prosperous, even though it may be the supply that have the benefit package that the narcissist is enjoy. And there's a supply that the narcissist called the closet supply. The closet supply is when the narcissist hide you. They don't want you revealed. You are their dirty little secret that they keep, and they will not allow you to be exposed. You may not meet the standard, or the narcissist is involved with the primary supply. The primary supply is under tremendous suspicion and suspect the narcissist of cheating or triangulating. And the narcissist now is hiding that closet supply. And there's other one called the waiting supply. This is the one that the narcissist feed crumbs to and keep them hungry for them. This little supply, that is the waiting supply, waits on the narcissist, and the narcissist keep them hungry, keep their emotional belly just rambling for food or just thirst. And so, like your belly, when you're hungry, you can hear the sounds of it. They display the sounds of hunger through their praise, through their worship, through their honor, through their begging, through their pleas. A lot of times these are borderline individuals who have no control of their emotions, and they blame themselves. They're needy. They have holes in their souls. These are the waiting supply, because the narcissists know that the borderline is going to blame themselves. They're even suicidal, and the pressure of being without the narcissist is more than they can handle. So the narcissist would tell them how they are not taking care of them, or how ugly they are, and he wished they would do their hair or fix their face. And when they put on makeup, he tell them that's too much makeup. And so it's different things that the narcissist use. And then there is the financial supply. The financial supply is when they take care of the narcissist and they get out and they do the status mode. They are the elite. They drive the elite. They dress the elite. They eat at the top side restaurants, where it doesn't matter which supply that is with the narcissist. The narcissist is always obsessed with the old supply, especially if they receive a narcissistic injury from the supply. The narcissist is a very revengeful individual, and they will spend months, years getting back at that supply that has injured them, because the narcissists have this big gaping hole in their life that they try to fill with fuel, because they can't fill it with love. They feel so unloved. They feel insecure. Everything is a competitive market. They feel like they don't get their due because they feel entitled, and they feel that people cannot properly give to them because everyone don't think like a narcissist. The regular people think like the regular people think. They temper the amount of praise. They don't need the grandiosity. They don't need the over exaggeration. They don't need the entitlement. And yet the narcissist pulled this from them. And the narcissist has experienced people so much until he knows the majority of the people are on a need base. And if you start getting that need exposed and you put that hole that causes it to get bigger and bigger, the more they're scratching for the narcissist. So the narcissist with the new supply can't wait to mention to the new supply how the old supply took care of them, how the old supply, they were in love with them, and now they got to get over the old supply. And the new supply, he hoped that he can fulfill them. He hoped that he can love them, because he was tortured by the old supply. And he talks about the old supply, mention the old supply. You see him daydreaming, and he's daydreaming about the old supply, and all of it is a setup. All of it is a lie. He's not daydreaming. She's not daydreaming about the old supply, but they're making the new supply feel very insecure. And the more insecure the new supply is, the more the new supply will work. They will work very, very, very hard for the narcissist. And then the narcissist with the old supply, he keep the old supply knowing that there's someone else. And the old supplies feel this sense of emptiness, this sense of failure, this sense of trauma and trauma bonding. So they feel the need to latch back on to the old, to the narcissist, and they would even set themselves up to be hoovered. They would go where the narcissists go. They would visit where the narcissists visit. They would drive by the narcissist's apartment or the narcissist's house, and they're trying to make sure they get a hoover, and they set themselves up. They wear the cologne in the place or go to their job, and they're just obsessed with the narcissist. And the trauma bonding, this is what it was for, that when they got the new supply, the old supply will still work. So he got the new supply insecure. He got the old supply craving, wanting, feel like they're losing, feel like, what does the new supply have that I don't have? Why does he want the new supply? And they are interested in the new supply, and they're wondering what it is about the new supply, while all the while the new supply is obsessed with the old supply, because the new supply feel like they're walking in the shadow of the old supply. They feel like the old supply must have had something they did not have. And they're trying to figure out, I wonder what went wrong. I wonder what they did wrong. Why weren't they able to hold them? Because they're saying in their mind, I don't want to make the same mistake. I want to progress farther than the old supply. So the new supply is online trying to find pictures of the old supply. And once they find out, because the narcissist is going to make sure that they leave little markers, a card, a picture, or put their phone on the Facebook, and you see the picture of the old supply. And the old supply was beautiful, and she has a nice figure. She seemed happy with the narcissist. The narcissist seemed happy with her. And so now she's on Facebook. She's following this person online. She's trafficking this person. She's trafficking in her mind, and she's thinking, and she cannot do their job, cannot do the business, because they're thinking of old supply. And the narcissist alienates the mind of both individual by making these individual enemies, and they don't know each other. And then when things start going wrong, and the narcissist has already started triangulating, so there is a new supply that he has, when the new supply that he once had now is becoming the old supply. So she was obsessed with the old supply, and now the new supply is now coming to get the narcissist, and the supply that is on the line is start wondering, what are they doing? How did they fail? And once he get the new supply, this is the third level supply. Once he gets the new supply, he tells the new supply about the second level supply, which the second level supply, he told about the first level supply. And all of them are enmeshed with hating each other, competing with each other over the narcissist. And the next thing you know, the narcissist got a harem of women searching, researching, fighting, wishing, craving. And the whole time, he's getting all the praise. She's getting all the praise. She's getting all the glory. And remember, when the narcissists first meet that new supply, based on the mission of that new supply, the narcissists feel like that new supply is perfect. And they are enamored with that new supply until the new supply show their humanity. And once humanity has begun, the degrading and devaluation starts, and the gaslighting starts. He have that new supply so confused, and he just happenly just dropped a name. And if he's planning to go back to the first level supply and not the second level supply, he's going to drop the second level supply, but he's going to go back to that first level supply, to that new supply, and he's going to drop it like he can't stay away. He tried to get away from the first level supply by using the second level supply, but his mind is constantly on that first level supply. He prays and he blows her up, and he smears the second level supply. She tried to control me, and I couldn't get away, and she took me away from what I love. I realized I love that first supply, but I know they're not good for me, and I'm here with you, and I'm falling in love with you, but I'm scared. I'm afraid. I'm afraid that what's going to happen to me is what happened with the first level supply. That's why I went to the second level supply, and you are the third level supply. So the third level supply embraces all of this insecurity. They cannot grow. They cannot think. And if they are successful, in order to get into their success, in order to get their finances, to blow their mind out, so they will feel free and feel obligated to take care of the narcissist, he used this. The old supply always have power because it's where the narcissists have been. And every new supply want the narcissist. So where they have been have weight. It seemed like it is the mature mechanism. It is the epitome of all of everything, because the narcissist build that old supply as if the old supply was the love of his life, and they never told the new supply how they trauma bonded that old supply, how that old supply mind, they almost lost their mind through gaslighting, and how they word salad, they lied, they triangulated, they were never faithful. And then the regiment of the old supply start coming into the life of the new supply, and the new supply start feeling that he's going back to the old supply when he has a new supply that he done hooked on. So they are traveling and trafficking and stalking the old supply while he is putting the new supply on the hook. So they never bother the new supply. He don't want anybody to interfere with the new supply. He don't want any interruption with the new supply, because he put everything to the old supply. And they think that he's in love with the new supply. When the narcissists love themselves, they never love anybody. They never give themselves over to anybody. The self-worth of the old supply has been crushed. They don't even know whether they're going or coming a lot of times, or they have been with a super empath, and they don't with supernova, and they are laying in havoc, trying to recuperate their energy, recuperate their mind, because they don't put out so much energy. It's taken a lot just to bring themselves back enough to function. Supernova always wipe you out. And so the old supply is thinking they are with the second level supply, when this guy is now the fourth, fifth, or sixth level of supply, when the old supply is thinking he's still triangulating with the next supply. Then that supply thinking the second level supply think he went back to the first level supply, and then the third level supply is thinking he's with the second supply, and then the fourth supply is thinking he's with the first supply. So these all are triangulating in the triangulation of the narcissist. They're all hating each other. They're all on social media. They are all looking for each other. They're looking for anything. They even drive. The narcissists give out the information that they want them to use. If he tells you where they work, he wants you to drive by where they work. If he tells you where the book, then you'll find yourself reading their book. You're angry at them and you're reading their book. If they're in the hospital, you're finding yourself at the hospital. Whatever the narcissist tell you, you're seeing yourself going in that trail behind the narcissist of the new supply. And remember, the new supply is as powerful as the newness. And once the newness wear off, that new supply is old supply. Once he get tired of you, it's old supply. You're just like everybody else. They put you in the same box. You give the same frustration. You love them and they love it. You love them now, they hate it. They hate everything they told you they love, and they love everything they told you they hate. And they keep mentioning the old supply. The narcissist that is very skilled with this can have 10 women on the line at one time, and each woman hating the other woman, because the narcissist has to be very structured, because the more women they are handling, the more structured they have to be. They have files of these women, and they place them on programs, and they have these programs set with structure and order, and each of these women in their mind is fighting the other woman, and some of them never get to see the other woman, because the other woman is in a whole new state. She's in a whole new country. You know, he may be white and she may be Filipino. He may be black and she may be Chinese, you know. So they're not even been together, but they have triangulated, and this narcissist has got these women online as devoted as with you, that he met, slept with, stayed with, married. A narcissist will leave a marriage because they don't marry because of commitment. They are marrying because of advantage. They are marrying because of benefit. They are marrying because of fuel. Everything they do is about fuel. It's not about you. That's why when the narcissist downgrade from a beautiful woman, and then you look at him, he's with somebody who's on meth. I mean, the only reason you know she got teeth is because these little nubs keep hanging out of her mouth. And you're like, what is that? Now, who is that? What is that? And he's with them, and he makes sure you see them. He makes sure you know them. You think that will take the new supply and turn them off, because you're thinking, this person can have anything. You're not bringing that to me. You're not coming back to me. And once the narcissists know that you're disdained the thought fuel, that he's dissatisfied you, the thought fuel, that you're not happy with what he chose, the thought fuel. So he's getting thought fuels by you complaining. And then this thought fuel is fuel for the narcissist. And the narcissists know you're not going to like it. That's why usually a lot of times the narcissists, some of them go to devaluation, then some of them go to ghosting, then some of them go to gaslighting. So you know you're on your way out. But there are some narcissists will take you to cloud 59, get you so high, buy you jewelry, take you out, and boom, you don't hear from them. There's not even a call, and it's a week, it's 2 weeks, it's 3 months, it's a year, and then 366 days he called you the first of the year, like, hey, what you doing? Hey baby, you know, I've been thinking about you. You like, where you been? Where you been? Why you calling me? I haven't heard from you in a year. He's like, what difference does it make? I always come back to you. I will always come back to you. Boom. You've been Hoover, you go through the same process. So the narcissist and the smear campaign of the last supply, he makes sure it's effective because he used a smear campaign with every supply because he need hunters. And the hunters, which are the hunter, they hunt the old supply. They follow the old supply. And sometime in the realm of relationship, there's so much traffic. It's bumper to bumper. And everybody's going at a snail pace, looking, rolling their eyes, cursing, searching for each other because they want to know, what do you have that I didn't have? Unfortunately, they didn't all know that it was absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. It was never about what you had. It was about who he was. Always the narcissist look out for themselves. When you know, you go and you grow and you don't go to Hoover. You stay in C and you don't go back. You fight going back. You fight every thought in your mind. You fight every memory. Because once you are free, indeed, your wholeness come back, your clarity come back, and you don't care who he tell, because you're no longer wanting the narcissist. And you put no vacancy. This mind and this heart is closed. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and share the video, and also subscribe to the video. Recommend it to someone. Get someone who's hurting and introduce them to these videos, because once they overthrow the narcissist and cause an injury, someone has been empowered. I'm Helen Sattler, your destiny helper.